Well, I guess Thomas Hughes could go there, or he could be the final
Yeah.
cuckold. Um,
It's the final cuckold.
you're welcome.
That's this episode title.
The final cuckold.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing that I'm finding a little bit rough with multiple children, it's not very explicit. Like, obviously, the twins are going to have the same father if they're identical.
Right.
But the final infidelity has 2 children listed.
Right.
And it's like, were they both a product of the infidelity? Did he father 2 sets of identical twins, I wonder?
I don't think so. Well, wait.
Maybe.
It's possible. Was it he and his sister were twins?
Fraternal.
Okay.
Fraternal twins are the ones that are genetically that
Right.
that carry on genetically, because it's the fact is that the female, when her eggs go down,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
so technical right now, she has a bigger tendency to release 2 at a time,
Right.
which is why that's hereditary.
Right. Right. Okay.
There were identicals in the original 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. This is gonna drive me insane. A few weeks later, follow-up provides more details. There was one arrest, Thomas Hughes, who was coincidentally a former student at the school. Apparently, the destruction came weeks after he married the school's newest teacher, Mrs. Hughes. She was not a teacher when he went. He graduated a few years earlier. According to the reporter's investigation into the police reports, trials, and restraining orders, Mr. Hughes was convinced that he was not the father of Mrs. Hughes' current pregnancy. Current pregnancy.
So maybe she'd had a kid before, and maybe he is the final one.
The final cuckold. He was released on bail, and the school has agreed not to press criminal charges after an agreement was made to pay for the damages and for the couple to begin the divorce proceedings.
Did the last one divorce? Yeah, I think so, right?
Yes.
Because there was that ex. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, current pregnancy is doing a lot of heavy lifting. It could be either one. We need more information. We need Mrs. Hughes.
We need Mrs. Hughes, yes. Yeah, why isn't there a criminal registry we can look up?
I thought so.
We don't have access to criminal records because we're 10 years old. Yeah. We're learning about all of this infidelity. That's okay for a 10-year-old, but criminals, no.
Could we just get criminal registry, please? There was... Okay, well, now hold on.
Yes.
Good old Crocodile. Crocodile Clementine. Do we not have any way to look up criminal registries through him? Alright, you know what? Let's pivot. Let's pivot.
Okay.
We got Roottreemania and Anonymom still to look up.
Okay.
So, what do you want to do? Roottreemania or Anonymom?
Anonymom is really good. I think we should start there.
Anonymom was the second high-profile case after Felix Fellows of a potential new Roottree being added to the Clancy Trust. Instead of claiming herself a Roottree, however, she claimed she'd slept with Guy Hudson and that her daughter was a Roottree.
Ah, yes.
The accusation came during the height of Roottreemania and began with a brief TV interview. She appeared in the shadows with a disguised voice and promoted an article about herself in News Time. Okay, we can look her up there. In the TV interview and the article, she referred to her daughter as Jane Doe Roottree. The name Anonymom was not self-inflicted. It seemed to spring up organically because nobody knew how else to refer to her.
Red, thank you. You're such a sweetie.
Thank you, Red. The day after the News Time article, Sam Madsen publicly supported Anonymom due to some parts of the story she found particularly credible. With the momentum from Sam's endorsement, Anonymom went on a media blitz. Ultimately, this backfired. As more details came out, people became skeptical of her story due to the extreme similarity to 5P's. Her accusation even included many of the same details as his mother's story. This included her job, secretary, and the time period late 70s.
He had so many secretaries.
After fumbling the 5P's story so publicly, the Roottrrees were more prepared to handle all clans and trust-related cases. Within a week, a DNA test proved that Anonymom's daughter could not be related to the Roottrrees. This was announced at a joint press conference with the lawyers representing both Anonymom and the Roottrrees. Each party ensured their respective clients provided accurate samples. Immediately after the negative results were released, many of those who had already been skeptical felt vindicated. Others, who had built up hope that history could repeat itself after 5P's, felt duped. Many people suspected the whole affair had been a hoax to gain fame and money. Many demanded that Anonymom be held accountable, and some people even began to attempt to track down her true identity. Never change, Internet.
Mm-hmm.
The Roottree company felt pressure to put out a second statement to try and curb some of the backlash, even going so far as to say, though it was scientifically proven that Jane Doe Roottree is not a Roottree, this doesn't mean that her mother and Guy Hudson were not involved in an affair. She had every right to make her claim, as it has been verified that her stories about Guy Hudson were not exaggerations. Please leave their family alone.
Oh my god, Luke, thank you.
Oh my god, thank you guys. Many people claim this high-profile anticlimax and public backlash was the beginning of the end for Roottreemania. Since much of the fun was the shared fascination about secret Roottrrees, others think that, like any fad, it just ran its course naturally. Regardless, this was the final notable event related to the release of 6 pieces, and things soon went back to normal. Jane Doe Roottree has already been eliminated as a potential new Roottree by the company's lawyers, who are the ones verifying your work. Anonymom's affair does not appear on your updated tree. Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys. Seriously. Okay, you know what? We know for a fact that Anonymom was in the next news or whatever the fuck that news time. There we go.
News time.
There we go. An anonymous woman appeared on the cover of News Time holding a picture of her daughter, Jane Doe Roottree. The first and only mention of the phrase Anonymom is in News Time came the week after, when they issued an apology for featuring her in the first place. A summary on the initial cover has been added to your evidence. Now, I know there's a lot of red herrings and shit, but here we go again. It was determined through a DNA test that Anonymom's daughter was not a Roottree. Oh, there's no insight, so this is just...
Yeah.
This article, which did refer to her daughter as Jane Doe Roottree but not coin the phrase Anonymom, came before all that, right around the time of her first interview. This is a summary. An anonymous woman appeared on the cover of News Time shortly after 5P's was confirmed by a member of the Roottree family. In an homage to the previous cover, she holds a photo of her daughter. Unlike 5P's, she wished to remain anonymous, and both photos were obscured. The anonymous woman claimed to have had an affair with Guy Hudson while she was working as his secretary. She and another woman were hired at the same time during a transition period, while many of the secretaries that had worked under Zach Morden were already gone. Okay, so we're looking for two secretaries that were hired right after Zach Morden transitioned.
Yeah.
She says that she and the other woman were both underqualified as neither had typewriter experience. According to other staff members interviewed, Guy had his own requirements for hiring women. Guy Hudson liked to throw lavish parties, and the longer he was present, the more excuses he found.
Yeah.
The anonymous woman posits that these parties mostly seem to be an excuse to have after parties at Guy's home, featuring much more alcohol and other substances. She claims she slept with him at one of these after parties. She confronted Guy when she found out she was pregnant. Guy didn't seem fazed, and they came to an arrangement. He paid her a significant amount of hush money on a recurring basis under the table. She used it to move away and start a new life with her daughter. When Guy died, the money stopped coming, and she assumed things had run their course. She went back to work at the department store and hoped that nobody would ever look too closely at how she paid for her house. She told everyone that her daughter's father walked out one day and never came back. She claimed that after seeing the fantastic article in News Time, she realized that she wasn't the only one this happened to. While she never worked at the Roottree company at the same time as 5P's mother, Joanna, their stories seemed eerily similar, and she knew Joanna was telling the truth right away. The article presented no tangible evidence of the anonymous woman's time at Roottree, and all the payments were allegedly made in cash. However, using details that she provided to News Time, the reporters were able to reach out to the other woman hired at the same time, who also remained anonymous. They successfully fact-checked the timeline of both women and confirmed the existence of the infamous after-parties. Five-piece case was strengthened, and this news story was subsequently published. Okay, so, during the transition period, would be here.
Well, the game told us that she's not on our infidelity list.
No, but this might be another way to rule out someone else.
Okay.
So, like, secretaries, she didn't work at the same time as Joanna.
Right.
She said that.
After Joanna left.
Joanna Robertson is no longer listed. Okay, add to the list. And then Joanna Fellows and Beth Knox. So, Christina
They
Farrow.
left in 1977.
Christine Farrow is no longer listed amongst the secretaries, but Christine Garland has been hired. Said she was hired at the same time as another woman, so it's not that one. Beatrice Watts and Corinne Schwartz were hired. Juliette McCullen and Doris Mays are no longer employed by Roottree. Lisa Lewis and Valerie Ewing were hired. So it could be either one of these four.
Beatrice or Corinne.
Lisa Lewis or Valerie Ewing.
Yeah. Also, it would probably be one who had left after less than a year.
Well, they also said, too, there was, in 1978, Guy Hudson took over. This became particularly volatile. So, 1978 was when he took over. So, probably either Beatrice Watts or Corinne Schwartz.
Right, but I'm saying we need to look out and see who left in 1979, 1980 at the latest, because she was pregnant and she left after he paid her hush money. So she didn't give birth while she was working there.
Corinne Schwartz and Beatrice Watts are no longer employed by Roottree. I think they both came out at the same time, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's one of those two. Yeah. Okay. Oh my god. Fuck you, Guy Hudson. God damn it.
What a piece of shit.
Your dick has caused so many problems.
Mostly for us.
So, okay. 3, 2, 1. What other insights can we get from here? Susan Ford. I think this is all related to Susan Ford shit. Yeah, you're right. He didn't give a single shit.
It caused problems for him, but as we know, when a rich man has problems, all he has to do is throw money at it and they go away.
Alright, let's just look up Roottreemania. Not Roottreemania. The other thing that we have to look up is Clark Rafferty LaRue.
Oh, yeah.
You know, maybe there's something in here. Clark. Here we go. Clark Rafferty LaRue, as well as Ruby Spratt and her company Ruby Legal Enterprises, were featured in Business Watch after the company took over as the keepers of the Clanset Trust. There's an article about that process that interviews both Clark and Ruby. It seems that Ruby actually approached the Roottrrees sometime in late March after the Roottree Rift, but well before Roottreemania. An accomplished but relatively low-profile lawyer, she offered to work for very little money, so long as she could be a public face to build her reputation. The family quickly jumped on this chance, as many family members often attempt to spend as little as possible to keep their shares of the Clanset Trust as high as possible.
God. I hate this family.
After looking over the Clancy Trust more carefully than anyone had in years, Ruby came to the conclusion that Clancy Edward Roottree's implementation was not legally sound, and that there would be constant legal challenges with some modifications. The family decided to put her in charge of the trust, both legally and as a public face, to prevent further issues. Ruby Legal Enterprises has been described as a mix between a law firm and a PR firm. Her first move, as a sort of trial run before she was even hired permanently, was to help them draft a public statement accepting Sam into the family and declaring that they'd begin to address the Clancy trusts. This went quite well, and they officially hired her in early April. Ruby Legal is now in charge of many financial aspects of the company, including verifying any claims to the trust and organizing the various charitable causes, such as scholarships that have been set up in the name of the deceased.
Have a good night, Loop. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, have a good night. Thank you.
Thanks again for all those gifts.
Yes, thank you. Oh, truly, truly appreciate all the support, you guys. All right, we're gonna... Okay, in early March of 1999, about 5 months ago, it was announced that both Clark Rafferty LaRue and Ron Roottree would be taking... Oh, we should look up Ron.
Yeah, what's that guy been up to?
Taking over for what was essentially described as a transitional period in the aftermath of Six Pieces. About 2 weeks later, the company released a press statement that thanked Ron for his work, but announced that Clark was the new permanent president. Most of the information about Clark you knew already. Many descriptions of him tend to focus on his advertising career and that his mother was Lauren Roottree. Few seem to touch on his complex and volatile marital history. Since taking over, Clark has tried to remain out of the spotlight, but did have one notable foray into the public eye. He gained a lot of support when his first move was a statement in favor of accepting Sam and her family into the trust. This also served as an announcement that the Clancy Trust would no longer be handled by anyone in the family, since due to their financial motivation. Okay, let's look up Ron.
Yeah.
Ron was announced as president of Roottree during the Roottree Rift, but the next press release immediately reversed the announcement and instead stated that Ron and Clark would take over. A few weeks later, Ron was dropped from the title entirely. There are hundreds of results about this development, but most articles are retelling of basic details. Some veer into heavy speculation based on an article about Ron in Business Watch. Okay, we can look that one up. Ron has also done some interviews saying that the truth of what went on behind the scenes is not something he wishes to discuss. Instead, he hopes to release a movie about it someday. Fuck you!
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, Ron's mother, Gwen, died in Paris, France. He and his brother Robbie have seemingly made amends. Like, what drives me crazy about this is, like, I genuinely despise, like, we're seeing all these books now, like, in, like, Congress, like, oh, like, all these horrible things that Trump did in his first term. It's like, you didn't stop it so you could write a book about it.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ron. Roottree.
Yeah.
Nope. We want... Business Watch ran an article about 2 months after the Roottree Rift about what really happened with Roottree. The article mentions that nobody from Roottree that they reached out to was willing to go on the record. Instead, the timeline events has been constructed from public record, accidental leaks, and a source on the inside.
Oh.
The only parts that are new to you are also the most vague parts, the ones supposedly confirmed by their anonymous source. The timeline says that the family actually held a preliminary vote after Carl Roottree died, but before the release of Six Pieces, and decided they wanted Ron Roottree to take over because of his experience running RR Productions, and because he was a well-known and well-respected Roottree. But Ron seemed way too eager and personally motivated. They were worried he would gut the Clancy Trust to remove Robbie Roottree. The family was notoriously unwilling to do anything that could risk their wealth. They stalled, and Ron became frustrated with the delay. When Six Pieces came out, he saw his chance to force action while the family was in the limelight and released the press release himself in an attempt to get the ball rolling faster. Everyone in this family is an opportunist.
Yep.
This caused chaos within the family. They tried to save face by allowing Ron to take over as co-president with Clark, but according to Business Watch's source, Ron was impossible to deal with. He seemed like he was unwilling to protect the Clancy Trust, and they eventually let him go. After that, the role passed solely to Clark, who nobody was excited about, but seemed like the safest choice.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm still at a total loss on, like, where to go from here.
We do have hints.
You're right, we do have hints. Let's do it. You haven't searched for everything on your list of notable events. That's a good plan. I did do that, though.
Well, let's go look at it again.
I looked up Six Pieces. I looked up the Roottree Rift. I just looked up Clark. 5 Ps. Roottreemania, and I guess maybe Roottreemania.
Well, it still has one left.
Yeah, screw it. Let's do it. I don't know if we actually did Roottreemania.
Can we look at the original family tree? Can we look at Clark?
Yeah. Well, there he is.
Okay.
Oh, we don't have another picture of him here.
Oh, we might get a third one. Oh, I wonder how many others are.
Huh.
Are there any others where we can fill it in, or is it just Clark because he's like a main character now?
I think it's Clark and his son Chris.
Hmm. Okay.
Oh, and Zachariah. But I thought I thought we had one. No, we didn't.
No, I'm pretty sure those are new.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, his infidelities seem pretty cut and dry. Actually, is it just the 3, or is there one more to the right of old fuck bucket over there?
There's one. That's
right.
That's the inner family one.
Yeah.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Clark might have another infidelity that we're just gonna learn about.
Yeah, I mean, seems likely. Oh, Clark.
Like, okay. Okay, Roottreemania immediately followed the announcement that a rapper going by 5 Piece was actually a Roottree. Collectively, popular culture seemed to focus on the Roottree family and 5 Piece for a few weeks before everything felt oversaturated and society moved on. Because of the 5 Piece saga, an underlying through line to how pop culture treated Roottreemania was an excuse for everyday people to claim they were also Roottrees. Daytime talk shows had I'm a Secret Roottree episodes. Late night hosts and guests made jokes about other lost members of the family. And there was a widely shared website where you could fill in your own name to find out if you were a secret Roottree. When you submitted your name, it simply said no, with an image of Clark Rafferty LaRue giving you the finger. Okay, we didn't look this up. We didn't look this up. I would have remembered that.
Yeah, I would have remembered that too.
Roottreemania lasted only a few weeks, just long enough for 6 Pieces to re-enter the charts and to trigger new printings of other Roottree-related media. This included Lauren's Diaries, VHS releases of Gwyn's old movies, as well as countless other unauthorized biographies, which mostly seemed to attempt to capitalize on the Roottree sisters, Carl and Brenda. That's awful.
Yeah, that's gross. Releases of Gwyn's old movies, that's probably not going to be helpful.
These re-releases were too late to successfully capitalize on or extend the craze. As a result, most of them were failures, and countless novelty shirts that had variations of I'm a Secret Roottree became immediately unfashionable, though some people still wear them ironically.
I fucking would.
So would I.
Yep.
There was one of the early things that we looked up, I think it was with 6 Pieces. There was they mentioned a sketch. Where is it? Late night sketch about indecisionitis. There it is. Indecisionitis was a disease coined by a popular sketch show as part of a fake pharmaceutical advertisement for Jit Together. While the segment isn't fully about the Roottree Candy Company, it was released in the weeks after their bizarre response to the release of 6 Pieces by Sam Madsen and references the recent news. In the sketch, a woman ordered a number 5 at a drive-thru speaker, then after pulling forward, she changed her mind at the window, asking to switch it to a number 3. This caused a lengthy backup and annoyance amongst the restaurant's employees and other patrons. After she pulled away as the employees began helping other customers, the same woman then barged into the restaurant and passed the current line, loudly complaining that she didn't receive her number 5. After this, the sketch transitioned from the restaurant scene into a pharmaceutical commercial. A doctor claims that the woman was suffering from indecisionitis, a disease that causes extreme confusion and irritability and has recently been found to severely hinder the leaders of large corporations, but could also spread to humans. Ha!
Oh, that was an excellent jab at CEOs.
The doctor then recommends Jit Together, a fake pharmaceutical drug. Multiple testimonials use variations of the catchphrase, "When I can't make my tough decisions, I gotta get my Jit together."
Yeah, you do.
The final testimony included a bald man in silhouette with a voice changer saying, "I'm not comfortable sharing who I am, but I am comfortable saying that before I took over my family's candy company, I really should have gotten my Jit together."
God, I wonder who that could be. There are so many bald men running candy companies.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, nothing else.
Okay.
I'm glad we got that little bit, though.
That was good.
Alright, so what else can we look up in here about Roottreemania? You know, we haven't looked up Lauren. Lauren Roottree.
Yeah.
And I feel like that I think there was something that said that would be...
That might be helpful, yeah.
In the wake of Six Pieces' release, Lauren Roottree, author of A Life Between Wars, was tracked down by a reporter as being in one of the most upscale memory care facilities in Pittsburgh. She was relocated back to Pennsylvania when she began suffering from Alzheimer's.
Oh.
There was a minor backlash towards the reporter that tracked Lauren down because they were caught standing on a ladder and holding their camera over the privacy wall to take a photo of Lauren and her son Clark sitting on a bench outside near a small pond on the premises.
Fucking paparazzi.
Right.
That's gross.
That is gross, but I'm like now I'm wondering if maybe no, wait.
That was a book.
Ah, here we go.
Cruelty.text.
When revisiting Lauren's book, there's a single passage that focuses on potential affairs in her immediate family. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting some fucking headway. Boom. An entry entitled Cruelty from Lauren Roottree's diary written in 1963. It focuses on the relationship between her mother and father. While it offered only redundant information during a previous investigation, it mentions the subject of affairs and may be more useful this time around. I am no stranger to true love. Jacob and I married at an age that most deem unfit for marriage, but he was also enlisting at an age that most deem unfit for war. We had no choice. I knew in my heart that our marriage was one for the ages. He and I would still be together today if not for Okinawa. That was nearly 20 years ago, but there is an emptiness in my soul. I do not understand my contemporaries. So many girls I went to school with have taken multiple lovers. So many of my girlfriends' husbands have been unfaithful. If I am able to remain true to the ghost of a man with no chance of physical reciprocation, no potential for long conversation, how could it be so hard to love someone you can reach out and touch? Someone you can joke with? This is beautiful.
Yeah, you also gotta remember, they married when they were 16.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like she's not really taking into account the fact that people change, and you still have a lot of growing up to do when you're 16.
I have not had to deal with such madness at home. My parents are a perfect match in the worst way. My mother's cruelty is a perfect fit for my father's general spite. In turn, Pop's status enables her incessant need to gloat and feel superior. I have grown up with their cruelty and disdain for others my entire life. Even my family remains unspared. They make fun of my grandpop and his family sayings. Blood is thicker than syrup, but nothing's thicker than Elias. They mimic Grandma Gwyneth's lisp and see her kindness as a weakness. Eliath, please remember Tham. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Not even our family's maladies and religion go unmocked. Remember, God only put one eye in miracle.
Okay, now that's pretty funny.
Jesus. I can't say without a doubt in my mind that my parents have never had eyes for anyone outside their marriage. They're too self-centered to look astray. Well, okay.
Damn.
Not a lot to go on, but some delicious tea.
Right? Can we look at her parents again? That was a Clancy.
This guy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, like goddamn. So, okay.
That didn't really give us any new
It didn't give us
any of this.
Anything. Hint. 5 pieces of musician. It's possible some of his music could be helpful to you. Okay, great. Where do we
find his music?
Can I download music from Let me go to Napster.
You know, right?
All right. Let's...
Floozies.
Here we go.
No, we haven't actually looked up any of his albums.
You're right, we didn't. Root of All Evil is a 5P's debut album. According to various sources, the album is mostly material that 5P's recorded for his mixtapes before he became notable, but re-recorded with lyrical differences and professional production. All Your Problems was the first and only single released. After dropping the single, 5P's announced he retained the infamous celebrity lawyer Stevie Whitlock to sue his family. To date, it doesn't seem like he's followed through. We'll look him up in a second. At first, the single didn't make much of a splash, but Whitlock, known for publicity stunts, paid thousands of teenagers a few dollars an hour to call and request a video on MTV, which increased its profile. MTV eventually caught on and banned the video altogether, which in turn received national news coverage and made the song even more popular. Okay. Well, before I do that, I just want to...
Oh, yeah.
What was it called? Root of All Evil. Damn it.
Damn. Wasn't there another music periodical, or was that the only one?
That was the only one. But I could try Teen Blast.
No? Okay.
Alright. Stevie Whitlock. Come on. Give me something. Stevie Whitlock is a lawyer with a history of publicity stunts and grandstanding. Still, she's managed to rack up quite a few legal victories for C-list celebrities and athletes. She became famous in the mid-1980s after successfully suing a multinational sandwich company whose 12-inch subs were actually an average of 11.5 inches long. Stevie argued that since the company sold 1 billion sandwiches per year, that was enough missing sandwich to make a sub long enough to span from New York to Los Angeles. The jury awarded her a paltry $5,000, but the news coverage of her crusade turned out to be priceless. Unfortunately, none of this seems related to the Roottrees. Okay, so like, look at his music. You mentioned his real name is David. He used to go by David Davey. And the author rused the fact that this rebranding was a blatant marketing stunt. Okay. Apparently, only one of the songs on the album is new.
Well, why don't we look up Dirty Davy and see what's on, if there's any albums listed under that? Because Root of All Evil is his most recent.
No.
No. Dirty Davy in the Spider Search?
Come on. Yeah, we did this. Dirty Devil and Dirt Poor.
There we go.
Dirty Devil was 5P's first mixtape, released as Dirty Davy from the early 90s. There's discrepancies and debates about what year actually it was released based on some of the pop culture references, with this range thought to be somewhere between 1992 and 1994. One of the songs, Yes I Can Jump, seems to be at the center of the confusion.
White men can't jump.
Some fan sites claim that there are multiple versions with different track lists and song lengths on them, though because there's very little evidence of the mixtape online as it is, it's hard to verify that information. Yes I Can Jump is a song that was on 5P's mixtape, Dirty Devil. It seems to be the only song that didn't make it onto his studio album that people thought should have. In it, he references a popular movie from 1992 called White Men Can't Jump. This reference has caused some confusion amongst the fan base. Because of it, it is agreed upon that the mixtape had to come out in 1992 at the earliest, but others point out that Fellows references seeing the movie on his 17th birthday. This would have been in 1994. Some take this to mean that the album had to have been released in 1994 at the earliest. Others claim that he was likely just trying to make himself sound older, since in response to some of the more questionable lyrics, he has stated multiple times that he was just a dumb kid when it was released. None of this gives me anything.
No.
How about Dirt Poor? Dirt Poor was a mixtape by Dirty Davy released in 1996. There's a lot of online discourse from people who like to point out that in one of the songs, Felix Fellows includes someone that would be revealed to be his own distant cousin, Raina, in a list of attractive women. The lyrics to one of the songs, Heat, mentions a few different prominent female actresses, models, and musicians from the 90s, and provides a crude pun or line about what Fellows felt about them. When re-released in 1999, much of the rhetoric was toned down to be less overtly profane, and the line referencing Raina was clumsily replaced with Dana, a reference to a character from the X-Files. What?
Lol.
Alright, well, let's see if this yields anything.
Yeah.
No.
No. Suggests that the time and circumstance of his birth are being obscured for some reason. That's an excellent point, Hillary.
Yeah, but we have him, like, he's already pinned down.
That's true.
Like, he's confirmed. Like, yeah. Alright. Hey, Duck!
Did we not?
I thought we... What? All your problems.
All your problems. I think we got distracted by Whitlock.
Yeah. This track is the only new song in the album. The subject matter of the song is the hypocrisy of those that claim money is evil. He points out that the only people who think money is evil are those that have it, those that can afford not to be greedy. In the song, Five Piece triumphantly talks about taking the Roottrees' wealth due to it being his birthright and giving it to those who need it most. You can find a copy of the song on a suspicious-looking website and download it for your records. Oh, we have so many. We've got so many viruses right now. Oh, we can listen to it.
Attention, Roottrees. This is Five Piece coming at you from the real world. You know, the place you ain't ever lived in.
You say money is the root of all your problems.
This is
Y'all are hypocrites, sitting back in your massive estates, built from the cash that your ancestors gave you, acting like you somehow deserve it, based on your family's
The first time I saw this man's photo, it was just like an Eminem XP.
Yeah.
money, or you might burn bright in hellfire someday, like that Madsen chick and her two dads. My pappy's cleansing trust should keep you away. Yo, it's disturbing, catching a sermon from a geezer who's never known hurt, but blurts out these claims that some
Ooh.
sinners, cause we didn't earn it. When all of your worth it came free with your name.
Ooh.
Lectures on greed as some expert creed from he without blame. How about instead I turn my other cheeks and spread them. When you give me a kiss, you'll know just where to aim.
You say money is the root
throwing out a solid diss track at Miracle.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it.
of those problems away.
Whoever calls dollars the root of all evil, just trying to make small pursuits of real people. You silver spoon fiends, you're the world's purest treacle, while real world folks burning spoons with a needle. So once more with passion, tell this poor tragic orphan how your mansions and Porsches are actually horrible.
How I'm better off penniless, grasping for morsels. How wanting my share.
That's actually extortion. With your candy ass name, synonymous with sweets. Oh, you wanna call me classless? I'm gangster from Portland, but I play that game. I came up on the streets. The only streets you reppin' are Park Place and Boardwalk. Hypocrisy, monopoly is toppling. When I knock, have G's.
Top off my pockets, please.
Cause the same God that got to steal my mom from me is what he wants, right? But you to live in poverty, and if you're
Hoo-hoo.
not eager to unhand that fortune, that's unfortunate. I guess I'm gonna have to take my portion, and I'll do it all legally. Class action, courtroom, decorum. I'm way past your fancy ass dormant.
You say money is the root
God damn.
of all your problems.
This goes hard.
This goes really hard.
Those problems away.
Bring the choir in.
You say money is the root of all your problems. Let me take those problems away. You say money is the root of all your problems. Let me take those problems away.
Whoever calls dollars the root of all evil, just trying to make small
This is a great fucking song, actually. This is way better than the ones we got. Damn, man. All right, so what do we learn from this? There's no insights here, Duck.
I mean, we got a good song.
We did get a good song, but hey, Duck.
Hey, Duck.
You found a lot of important information in your last investigation. Now that some time has passed...
Okay, you know what? Why don't we...
I think we need to come back with this with fresh eyes.
Yes, I was just about to say, maybe we need to take a break.
Yeah, I think, because I'm about to kill this duck. I'm about to throw it out the fucking window. God damn, even all... Oh, there's still, like, everything from here. This has a whole bunch of generations.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. It's the oldest one.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, Guy Hudson. Fuck
Hillary
you.
says she heard a door knock?
No, I think it was the song.
Well, I guess we can go look at our front door.
We can.
It'll take just a second.
I did also hear it. Can I interact with the door at all?
No, doesn't look like it.
I think it was just the song, because I heard it too. Alright.
Okay.
Alright. We're going to call it here. We're going to come back on Thursday with some fresh eyes while I think about this for a couple of days, because this is going to drive me insane.
Yeah.
And we will pick this up. Yeah, I think it was the song too, Nix. Yeah. Yeah, I'm also lost on the riddle of the duck. But we're going to pick this... Wait, hold on. Was this box here last time? Okay.
I don't think so.
But we'll pick this up on Thursday, and we will see you guys then. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Receivable and on Blue Sky at Occults Receivable. You can follow me in both places at Sam Madsen. You can follow Teresa at Blue Sky Kara and YouTube at Tiny Kiwi Studio. Thanks so much, as always, you guys, for joining us, and we will be back on Thursday. Have a good night.
Good night.